AITA for micromanaging and making our nanny quit. We have a 2-year-old and a newborn. I am a Psalm and this is my first time having a nanny. I was weary and I do not want to leave my kids with strangers, but I just decided I would bring her along on errands to calm my mind. After my C-section I felt better than the first time around and was mobile. My needs changed and I needed more help like cleaning and running errands. I called and asked if she would be okay with it. She did mention in her interview she has no problem cleaning up after my daughter, but is not a housekeeper. Depending on scope of work she would be raising her hourly price. I asked her to just try for a week and see how she felt and she agreed. I left the kitchen a bit messy to see she would take initiative and clean it, but no. She only cleaned after Dee. I asked again if she would mind doing extra housework so I could be with Dee more and she mentioned pay again. So I dropped it. I just wanted with someone to help out with the house, so if I could be the one to put my daughter down, give her food, etc. She called me 3 weeks in and let me know she thought I was micromanaging. I told her I would step back, but I wasn't happy she wasn't benefiting Dee educationally. And we went with her because we thought she was worth it. I even suggested creating a timetable of home activities since I wasn't comfortable with her going out alone with her, so they could have a set schedule every day. I also wanted to add she wasn't flexible and often couldn't stay late or help on off days due to nannying for other people. About a month, I was observing her clean up blueberries Dee had thrown while she was eating. She swept everything except this one small piece of the smushed blueberry. I watched as she left it under the island, threw away the Swiffer pad and went to the bathroom. I was mad and I didn't want to say anything for fear of her saying I'm micromanaging, but I couldn't hold back. I thought maybe she would come clean it up after she got out. I sent Dee to go play and waited for her. I asked if she was finished cleaning and she said yes. I showed her the blueberry piece she had left and she said she thought swept all the blueberries and didn't see that. I didn't believe that because I was sitting right there watching her, and I saw her put it there and leave it. I told her that she had already made it clear that she wasn't comfortable doing extra housework at her pay, but if she couldn't even keep Dee's area clean this wouldn't work. After a little back and forth she said she is not comfortable and will be resigning. I told her I agree she should leave and she said goodbye and left. I paid her for the full days out of the week she worked plus 3 hours. When I told husband, he called me in awe and told me I ran our first nanny away. So AITA, I don't think me up keeping the standards I set for my own house or micromanaging, and I think I'm within my right to want things a certain way. Edit. Another issue I had was nearing the end of her employment. Things were constantly popping up. She became unreliable and called out at least twice, or would leave before my daughter's nap. And for clarification, I never wanted her to clean the house. My main need was cleaning the kitchen and maybe informal living room. Story 2. AITA for walking my stepdaughter down the aisle even though her father paid for the wedding. My wife got divorced when her daughter was 16 and married me a year later. Her daughter lived with us and saw her dad on the weekends. She is now 21 and got married this weekend. Her father paid for the wedding in total, and was also obviously invited to the wedding. The thing is, he assumed he would walk her down the aisle. She asked me to walk her and I agreed weeks ago. Before the ceremony, her father came up to us when we were standing in the hallway, waiting for the music to start to walk down the aisle. She told him I am walking her, and he got very upset. Said he's her dad. I am mom's husband. She said she knows, but she already asked me. He said he is paying for the wedding. She said that doesn't give him the right to call any shots. I walked her down the aisle, and he was very upset. At the reception he came up to me and told me that if I want to play dad, I can also pay for the wedding. Said I'm in awe for taking his moment away. AITA. Story 3. AITA for not putting away my menstrual products. Yesterday my friend came over with her new boyfriend. While me and friend were chatting, her BF left to use the bathroom. The whole visitation was pleasant. Few hours later after they left, my friend texted me and told me her new boyfriend were uncomfortable using my bathroom because I had my menstrual product out. She said I should put them away when I have guests over. I told her no and that no one ever complains about my products being out. He saw what I said and started talking SH+. I told him real men aren't scared of women products, and he needs to grow the CK up. He tried to talk shit plus about my husband, but I quickly shut him down by saying my husband usually buys my tampons for me. Anyways, my friend told me I hurt his masculinity, and he took a joyride somewhere. So I am the off for not putting my products away. Story 4. AITA refusing to go to my mom's new vacation home that she bought while we are struggling to afford housing. My spouse and I have been struggling to find a home. We have outgrown our tiny apartment. We have a young child and one another, but we cannot afford a bigger place. We save and save but cannot catch up to the pace of house prices. My mother and her husband own 3 homes. While she heavily relied on her parents financially, she has not been there that way for me. Through pandemic, unemployment, high medical bills for our premature baby, and numerous other unfortunate expenses, she never offered any help. Her and her husband who considers himself my child's grandfather, own 5 cars, and periodically they abandon the cars at one of their vacation homes to look like someone is home all the time. They planned on doing this with an additional car recently, one that was only a few years old. I expressed my hurt that they were planning to abandon yet another car while they knew we were struggling financially. Housing costs have become such a struggle that a couple months ago, I applied for a job in a much cheaper state, 12 hours away. I told her about this, and although she is very close with her grandchild, she basically just said she'd visit a lot. It felt very much like don't let the door hit you on the way out. Ultimately, a relative intervened and offered to help us in the event we could no longer afford rent after the upcoming increase. 1 month after I told her about applying for the job out of state, she told me that they got a beach place. I thought she meant a rental at first. It materialized that no, they purchased a home on the beach. She expected me to be thrilled. She even said they did it for us. The price of the home is in the same price range of the sort of home we would like to buy, a 3/2, but that we have been priced out of over the last couple years. I was very hurt by this and felt like it was a slap in the face. Well before closing, I told her I would not be able to go to their new vacation home because it would be too upsetting for me. It is an extremely frivolous expense in my view, when they already own 2 vacation homes in the same state as the new one. I don't feel entitled to their money, but neither do I want a front row seat to them wasting it while we struggle. For what it's worth, I would have zero problem if they used this money to pay off their existing mortgage or save for retirement or pretty much anything other than a 3rd vacation home that is the cost of the home we are hoping to be able to buy. Like the abandoned car, it feels like money is just being thrown away, and I know they can do what they want with their money, but I don't want to be in that house knowing they preferred having it to helping me and their grandchild. An AITA.